All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Tom, take the roll, please.
Mayor King.
Present.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Present.
Councilmember Baskin.
Present.
Fisher.
Present.
Pashusta.
Present.
Helly.
Present.
Postma.
Present.
Baker.
We're right here.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. Looking for a motion to adopt the agenda
So
and additions. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2 is a motion approving the minutes from our January 17th, 2023 meeting.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now, the good stuff, item number 3, we're going to recognize Terry Peterson for his work at the Austin Fire Department. A little personal note here, Terry, please stand. We got to take a look at you. A long time ago, as a McDonald's employee, Terry Peterson was my manager, and I'll say this not even just tonight, Terry. Terry taught me how to work. It was, you got time to lean, you got time to clean. That was one Terry Petersonism. Yeah, and just that was what was expected, and I carried that forward too. So thank you for that. But we're here to recognize him for his many years of service to the Austin Fire Department. You want to step forward, Terry? That'd be great. So Terry started in the paid part-time division on November 23rd, 1992, and full-time on January. What was that, Terry? 12/1/97.
Yes,
December 1, 97. So you did you work with my dad at all? Was he 92? He left before. Gone by then. So we appreciate that dedication. I know the tough job that is required of our fire department. You know all too well. You've seen tragedy and you've helped a lot of lives, no doubt. But we appreciate those many years of service, and I appreciate what you taught me at McDonald's back in the day too. So,
thank you.
You have any comments to share?
No, I'm happily, pass on the knowledge that I had for some of these younger guys, and for a lot of the guys through other 1 or 2 that are currently on. So I'm pretty proud of that stuff. But it's been a good career. The first few years were a little rough, but after that, it's been pretty good. 10 years.
Right. You will be missed, I'm guessing. I'm guessing he will be missed, Chief.
For about 5 minutes, then we'll get on with it.
Until you ask. No, Terry has always wanted to go to get things done, whether it's around the station or on the fire ground. He's never afraid of work, and he will be missed. Around the station, the guys respected him.
That's
no
excellent.
matter if it's a part-time or full-time, Terry will be missed.
Right. Well, best in your retirement, Terry. And one more quick story is McDonald's days again. New employees, there was kind of fun for the managers to send the newbies to either Apollo to get ice mix or to Ace Hardware to get a left-handed mop. And people did. It was fun.
No stick bun spray.
Stick buns, no stick bun spray, right. So again, so many memories. Thank you, Terry, for your years of service, brother. We also, item number 3, we have a special Mike Ruzek proclamation day. I'll read that. Whereas Michael Ruzek received a grant from the Blandon Foundation to conduct a research and development effort that confirmed that Austin would benefit from the creation of a community foundation, and whereas Michael Ruzek brought together a prominent group of Austin area residents to establish a community foundation to be designated as the Austin Area Foundation, and whereas Michael Ruzek oversaw the effort to obtain 501c3 nonprofit status for the Austin Area Foundation, which was granted in 2003. And whereas Michael Ruzek served as the initial chair of the Board of Trustees and continued that role until 2014 and again in 2020. And whereas Michael Ruzek has served with great distinction as a member of the Board of Trustees since 2003. And whereas Michael Ruzek has determined that he wishes to retire from his unrivaled service to the Board of Trustees of the Austin Area Foundation. Now, therefore, I, Stephen M. King, Mayor of the City of Austin, Minnesota, recognize Michael Ruzek and do hereby proclaim February 11th, 2023 as Michael Ruzek Day. We're also going to honor him with a trail, I believe, named after him, and he's a Austin High School Hall of Fame. He's a pillar of Austin on the pillar wall. I don't know what else you can do in a career, but congratulations to Mike Ruzek and Rutland on that February 11th, 2023 Mike Ruzek Day. Item number 4 is a motion for the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
And was there an addition on that too for the players? That was included. Okay, Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Helly.
Abstain.
Postma.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0 with one abstaining, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 5 is a motion to approve the reclassifying of the grant-funded environmental education outreach coordinator position to a grant-funded nature center teacher aide position. David? Anything on that?
No, not really. I think we covered this at the work session. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them.
Okay. Looking for a motion then for item number 5.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Item number 6 is a motion reviewing the proposed ordinance or liquor ordinance changes. Ann?
These are the ordinances that we reviewed at the last work session. It was the resident requirement for the manager of a liquor establishment, and we are going to make that similar to our rental managers to live within a 50-mile radius. And then also updating some temporary liquor language that changed at the legislature, just so our ordinances are the same.
Thank you. Any questions for Ann on this? If not, looking for a motion for 6A, the preparation of the ordinance.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item number 6B is an ordinance for the adoption and publication of the ordinance.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-0, Your Honor.
And item number 7 is reviewing the proposed licensing ordinance changes. Ann, anything further on that?
No, we would just be repealing the plumbing, mechanical amusement devices, pool tables, and bowling alleys, just because we don't find a public purpose in regulating those items anymore.
Thank you. Any questions, council? If not, looking for a motion for item number 7A, preparation of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item number 7B is an ordinance for adoption and publication of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 8 is a resolution authorizing a $42,216,633 general obligation wastewater revenue note. Thomas?
This is a resolution needed for the City of Austin to approve in order to access the PFA funding for our share of the wastewater treatment plant upgrades. It's at an interest rate of 1.912% over 20 years. The 42 million plus can be reduced by other grants. We get bonding bill dollars, et cetera, so you're not locked into that right now. We're locked in, that's the max we can get. So at this point in time, we'd request council approve a resolution authorizing that so that we can have the funding in place to pay the bills that will be coming soon.
Excellent. Thanks, Thomas.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Tom, please.
Councilmember Baskin.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 9 is a resolution approving a labor agreement with IAFF for 2023 to 2025. Craig?
Thank you, Mayor, members. With this 3-year agreement with our full-time firefighters, it's consistent with other bargaining groups and maintains our internal pattern. We have the continuation of our implementation of our BPS. We establish EMT pay as particular items of note Otherwise, there's other technical changes in the agreement. Council action is requested. Be happy to answer any questions.
Council, any questions of Mr. Clark?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Item number 10 is resolution adopting a health reimbursement arrangement buy-down plan. Craig?
Mayor and members, city moved to Medica effective January 1st. As part of the contract negotiations with city's bargaining groups, we provided for an internal buy-down for singles from $4,500 rather than $6,000 for the maximum out-of-pocket, and $9,000 rather than $12,000 for maximum out-of-pocket for family. We need to adopt the necessary plan documents to complement our contractual obligations. Council action is requested to approve the resolution and plan documents.
Very good. Any questions, council? If not, look for resolution. Item number 10.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 11 is a resolution approving the HSCP contract amendment for the UAW WWTP. Craig?
Mayor and members, from time to time we see these. We have to adjust the terms of the wastewater treatment labor agreement to the amount that they contribute to their healthcare savings plan. Currently, that's done at 100% of their unused sick leave. They're requesting to move that to 0%. Those changes need to be ratified by the council. There is no cost to the city. The changes are locked in for a 2-year period. They're aware of that and requesting our change. Council action is requested to approve the adjustment to the healthcare savings plan for UAW wastewater treatment plant.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 12 is a motion approving the commander promotion and hiring of a full-time fire prevention specialist, fire engineer in the fire department. Jim?
With the retirement of Commander Peterson, we're looking for a motion to approve the appointment of Josh Coonsey to fill that position left vacant. Josh started with the fire department in 2009 as part-time, and in 2014 became a full-time firefighter engineer with the department. So looking for approval of Josh to the commander position, which leaves a vacancy for our fire engineer, and looking to appoint Matt Wise to that position. Matt started with the department part-time in 2017. Requesting approval of both those positions and personnel.
A really good promotion and a really good hire. Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, Jim. Item number 13 is resolution approving a grant application for the First Avenue Southwest reconstruction. Stephen?
This project is identified in our 5-year CIP out in 2027 for reconstruction. That would be our eastbound one-way of our 2 one-way pairs. So we looked at this project. It fit many of the criteria of this federal STIP grant application process. And we, due to timing of the 3-week gap between our last council meeting, we actually have already submitted the grant application. And we had the evaluation criteria with MnDOT last Friday. So to spill the beans, we were successful. We were the #1 project chosen. So I'm asking for forgiveness to move that forward. But we were successful in getting the federal grant application. So our last step upon council's consideration would be to submit this resolution to complete our grant application. And you can see there, we've been successful over the last multiple years with getting federal grant applications to help bring down our local costs toward street reconstruction projects. And this would be another one. It's proposed to be about a 12-block project. It's very expensive, high-valued project for us, and these federal funds will help bring down our local cost toward the project. So we would recommend approval of the resolution.
Excellent. Council, any questions of Mr. Lang?
I think we'd be fools to not say motion to approve.
Second. Anytime you can find free money, feel free to go ahead and do it.
Tom, please.
Councilmember Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Bashusta,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Item number 14 is a resolution accepting the flower donations into the city of Austin, and did this last year too, and I have a hard time not recognizing folks in the council meeting that give their hard-earned money. So I will go through this list. Larry Andreessen, Mike and Patty Ankeny, Daniel and Rebecca Astrup, Jeff and Diane Baker, Greg and Amy Baskin, Jason and Katie Baskin, Nancy Beck, Judy and Dick Bergen, Roberta and Bruce Burnt, Cyrene and John Berthium, Judith and Lee Bjorndal, Roger and Cherie Boughton, Patrick Bradley, Fred and Helen Brockmeyer, Richard and Laura Carlson, Ron Weisler, Colette Chafee, Cheryl Christofferson, Clifton Larson Allen, Gary Corcoran, Catherine Coyle, DTK Enterprises, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Davison, Robert Devine, Terry Dorsey, Thomas and Lisa Dunlop, Joan Item, Leanne and Jeffrey Edinger, Charlotte Feltz, Quentin and Marlene Fiala, Bob Finney, Lowell Foster, Jeffrey and Maria Frank, Phyllis Freund, JC and PT Fried, Joe and Cindy Furman, Roland and Cynthia Gensler, Karen Gimbel, Harold and Priscilla Golly, Susan Grove, Gordon and Donna Handeland, Veronica Hanson, Jill and Gary Hart, Janet Hokinson, Alice Holst, Gregory W. Johnson, Peggy Keener, Randy and Wendy Kramer, Dorothy and Steve Krob, Thomas Lander, Greg Larson, Sonia Larson, Saville Lord, Ron and Mary Ann Luders, Jay Lutz, Thomas and Donna Moss, Pat McLean, Shane Malum, Luis Martell, Stephen and Sherry Mason, Mark and Holly Mayer, Jerry and Suzanne McCarthy, Rose McCarthy, Daniel and Rebecca McKay, Daryl and Deb Mickelson, Joyce Maliner, Bill Morrison, Kurt and Annette Mueller, Stephen Nieswanger, Colleen Horn, Ann and Dale Odegaard, Meredith and Gary Ofstedal, Betty Olson, Dwayne Olson, Ralph and Judith Pessinen, Larry and Teresa File, Joyce Pashusta, Mike and Stephanie Postma, Stephen Lynn Price, Patricia Purcell, Peggy Queensland, Gretchen and Mark Ramlow, Rebecca Johnson, Rapinski, Scott and Catherine Richardson, Bonnie and Tim Reitz, Barb Schaefer, Belita Schindler, Dean and Leanna Seek, Jim and Jeannie Sheehan, Paige and John Scholl, Ellen Stark, Maureen Steinblock, Tom and Sarah Steam, Dave and June Silty, Janice Tamke, Peter and Bonnie Tangren, Terrace and Sherry Taylor, Daphne Wagner, Richard and Annabelle Waldman, Kathy Wagner, James and Charlene Westrick, Bruce Westrom, Dale Wicks, Jerry and Marianne Molesky, and Gary and Marjorie Zimmerman. Also Bodler, Mouse, Foreman and King, Golden Tress, Potash Mitchell Dental Clinic. Those are the names that gave them about $16,800 or $16,200 of flowers for our downtown flower program. So need a resolution to approve that, please.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Bashusta,
Aye.
Kelly,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker.
Absolutely.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Item number 15 is a motion approving the 2023 contingency funds for the City Hall photos and framing. Craig?
Well, thank you, Mayor, members. Bill Toffick had some beautiful photos of our Austin, Our America project in our hallways here in City Hall. Those are going to be displayed up at the state capitol. And when they return, they'll go to Riverland. But kind of made it rather prevalent that we don't have anything to replace it right now. So we wanted to check and see if council was amenable to replacing them with some area photographs here around the community and provide some framing for that. So we put together just kind of an outline of some costs associated with the photographer and frames to adorn our hallways, and wanted to see if that's something council was agreeable to, and we just look for your direction.
Council. I think it's a fine idea. If council agrees, I'd like a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Tom?
Motion by Councilmember Fisher, seconded by Councilmember Helly to approve the $3,000 in contingency funds for photos and framing. So an aye vote is in favor of such. Councilmember Baskin,
Nay.
Fisher,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Nay.
Councilmember Large Austin.
Nay.
Motion passes 4-3, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Item number 16 is a motion granting the Planning and Zoning Department the power to contract for the removal of junk and or legally stored vehicles at 2010 11th Avenue Northeast, the Jacobson property.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries on to citizens addressing the council. Is any citizen here that wishes to speak to the council of items that were on the agenda? Okay, hearing none. Honorary council member comments.
Yes,
George, anything from you today?
I'm looking at the, summary of the program, the honorary, and at the top it says attend regular city council meetings and participate in discussion, not allowed to make motions or vote. Attend various advisory board and commission meetings, attend a staff briefing, and tour facilities. Receive all correspondence, excuse me, that is directed to the city council, including staff reports and of League of Minnesota Cities publications, but I'm not even being included in the roll call, and I'm here. And I don't know if that's been customary, but, you know, I'm referred to as an honorary city council person, and everybody else is acknowledged in roll call. And
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, George. I'd have to check to see if that's something we can do or should do. Maybe we should. I don't know if we can. Craig, do you have anything at the top of your head?
So when we created the honorary council member, one of the things that we had to be cognizant about is that only the elected officials can actually take any action or vote. So the roll call is really just to determine whether there's a quorum of voting members here so that we can document that the meeting can start. There are a lot of us here that serve important roles, as the honorary council person is an important role, and certainly I think the minutes should always reflect, you know, who's here. Mr. Thomas, I do not believe that it is intended nor should be received as any sort of slight that you're not part of the roll call, just simply because the purpose of the roll call is to determine the voting members present so that we know what the count is and whether we have a quorum and whether we can proceed with the business.
I understand, but it's part of the introduction to roll call. Take the word voting out and it's part of the introduction that everybody's here or not.
I think what I could do, George, is just acknowledge that you're here at the beginning and not have it be part of the role, but certainly acknowledge that you're here.
Okay.
We'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Craig, anything?
No, I have nothing.
Joyce?
I have nothing. Thank you.
Well,
Nothing, Your Honor.
Jason?
Sure, Craig will touch on it, but we've got the Accelerate Austin session tomorrow with the folks from the Velocity Group in town, so I think it'll be a good conversation to get. I think there's 47 different folks from across the community coming together to talk about kind of where do we want to take Austin, where are we coming out of Vision 2020, where do we want to go over the next 15 to 20 years, and what are some of the big areas that we want our key stakeholders to lean into, and kind of what's that vision and how do we get there. So exciting, obviously excited about the conversation around strategic priorities we're going to have here in a few minutes. A lot of good happening in Austin. I think we can accelerate it even faster.
Yeah. Thank you, Jason. Jeff?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Jeff?
As much as I would like to, I'll beg you to root for my Chiefs on Sunday. I would have nothing. Not a thing.
I'll do it.
You did make it out of Cincinnati during the AFC Championship game though, so that's safety
It's a close
first.
call.
Michael?
It feels like it was a little while ago since we've had a meeting, and so I do want to recognize a few of us had a chance to go to St. Paul and meet with our local legislators. Representative Mueller and Senator Dornick were both very gracious with their time, had a chance to kind of download some of our issues with them, and just really appreciated that and the work that Craig and the staff do, putting that day together for us up there. It went very smoothly. It was nice to see somebody commented, because I think there was 3 or 4 of us at least, and they're like, wow, Austin rolls deep. And we're like, yep, we like being up there. It was good.
It was great to have that contingency there, right? Thank you, Mike. Laura?
I do have a few things to report from my various commissions. So the Culture and Arts Commission is working on bringing in a comedy troupe called Funny Asian Women Collective to do some diversity training here in Austin. We're trying to take the approach of making diversity training not the medicine that you have to take, but something fun that you'd actually like to go to. So we're working on finding funding partners for that. We've also set the date for 4th Avenue Fest of June 14th, Wednesday, June 14th. I know a number of departments collaborate with us on that and probably want to make note of that. Parks, Recreation, and Forestry is having another Emerald Ash Borer public meeting. So if the public would like to learn more about Emerald Ash Borer and what's happening, that is February 15th at 7:30 p.m. at the YMCA at ACRC. The Park Rec and Forestry Board elected Helen Jar as chair and Nick Johnson as vice chair for 2023. And they're concluding their master plan process, which has been, I think, more than a year in the works. So there'll be some opportunities for public input on that master plan to kind of kick the tires, see what it says, and give more feedback before it's finalized. So watch for information on when that is coming this spring. And then finally, the HRA is doing a number of great things, and I won't report anything that you can read about in the paper in terms of housing projects, but I did want to highlight that they have some new funding for daycare forgivable loans. So if anyone, last round it was just the city of Austin, this round it's all of Malheur County. Anyone who wants to start a home-based daycare, they can get up to a $2,000 forgivable loan for upgrades that they need at their home or training or combination thereof, equipment, all kinds of things. So knowing that daycare is a crunch in the community, that's a really good resource, and we want to make sure everyone knows about it.
Excellent. Thank you, Laura. And I have nothing further to add. I didn't know if Laura was going to break my record of words with the flower program basket donations, but
I tried.
I used my words at that for the thanking of the folks that give to the flower project. So looking for a motion to adjourn to Tuesday, February 21st, 2023 at 5:30.
So moved.